Hello ladies, this is today's video lesson for lesson 4-2. We're only doing one example together. The rest of your Zoom, this is a Zoom lesson, supposed to be. But if you don't show up, you're watching it on YouTube. So the way today's lesson is going to work is we are beginning our proof unit. But we're about to head into Christmas break, and I know that if we start proofs right now, you're going to forget everything we talked about because we're going to be going into 2021. And then I have to restart this whole unit all over again. And also I want to see what I can use and what I can cut out from last year, because some of last year we didn't really need to cover. So what we're going to be doing is today we're going to be learning how to write in math and sort of like introduce ourselves to justifying our work. This assignment is going to be done on a Google form. We are doing this first question together in class on Zoom, or you'll be watching on YouTube, and you're going to see exactly what's expected. On the Google form, you're doing these 3 questions. And on the Google form, it's going to say specifically solve the equation. And then there's going to be a spot for you to upload your work on the Google form. And then you're going to use complete sentences to explain what you did. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by complete sentences. So today, let's look at what we're going to be doing. We are learning how to write in math, so we're actually going to be using sentences because this is the beginning of our proof unit. So when we get back from break, we're going to learn about all these postulates and rules that we can use, and then we're going to extend those to triangles when we learn about triangle proofs. Proofs are very, very important because they allow us to display and show why the math works out to be the way that it does. So let's solve this equation and then use complete sentences to explain how we solve the equation. So in this equation, I have 4x plus 4 times 3x minus 10 equals 88. So I'm going to write down my PCV&A procedure because a lot of us like to use PCV&A. And I have to ask myself, do I have parentheses? I do, so I'm going to distribute my 4 to each term. So when I solve this equation, I have 4x. 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times a negative 10 is a minus 40. And that's equal to 88. I now no longer have parentheses, so it's a good thing that I already crossed out my P. Now I'm at the C stage where I combine like terms. So I look at one side at a time and I have to ask myself, can I combine anything in this side of my equation? I can. I can combine my 4x and my 12x. 4x plus 12x is 16x. And then I have my minus 40. And there's nothing on the right-hand side to combine, so I just have 88. And boom. The V stands for are all your variables on the left-hand side of your equal sign. Well, if you look, all my x's are right over here, so there's nothing for me to do. So, yep, it is. Now, I have to ask myself, N. Are all my numbers on the right-hand side of my equation? Well, if you look, I still have a minus 40 that I want to get rid of. So I have to ask myself, how do I get rid of a minus 40? Well, you add 40 to both sides. My 40s cancel, and then I get 16x equals 88 plus 40, which is, I believe, 128. Let's double check. Yep, it's 128. I'm never wrong. And now I say all my numbers are on the right-hand side, so I check it off. Now what we're going to do is the A part. To get rid of that number attached to your x, you get rid of it by dividing. So I'm going to divide both sides by 16. When I divide by 16, I get x is equal to 128 divided by 16. That one I definitely need to use a calculator for. I think I have an idea of what it is. Ooh, I was close. And I get x is equal to 8. And that's your final answer. But here's the issue. We solved the equation. On the Google form, that'll get you 2 points. The next 2 points you need is the explanation. So now we're going to use complete sentences to explain how we solve the equation. If you want, you can write it using bullets, but you need to make sure that you're writing complete sentences. So let's do bullet number 1. I think there's a way I can put lines on here to make it look nicer. Let's see. Is there a way to put lines? No, there isn't. Darn. Okay, so let's look. So, 1. First, I was given the equation 4x plus 4 times 3x minus 10 equals 88. So first, we're always going to write down given. So I was given the equation copy and paste it. So 4x plus 4 and then parenthesis 3x minus 10 equals 88. We were given the equation 4x plus 4 times 3x minus 10 equals 88. Then I distributed. My 4 to get 4x plus 12x minus 40 equals 88. Then, what do? We combined like terms. To get 16x minus 40 equals 88. Let's change up our word now. After that, we moved our 40 to the other side of our equation. To get, what did we get? We got 16x equals 128. Finally, we divided both sides of our equation by 16. To get x equals 8. And that's what I'm expecting on your Google form. So I want to see some sentences. I just want to see your thought process in words. So for instance, if you're distributing, I want you to write down your distributing. If you're combining like terms, I want you to write down your combining like terms, and etc. This is basically a paragraph sort of proof if I just didn't number it. What we're going to be learning about when we get back from the break is, 1, we're going to be learning how to use postulates and proofs, and 2, eventually putting all this together when we have visuals. We're never really going to be doing proofs on equations. We will be doing some algebraic proofs when we get back from break. But for the real part of this course, you're going to be doing proofs on geometric figures, because this is geometry. This is not algebraic geometry. So your task is to complete the Google form on these 3 equations. The Google form is on iLearn. And as always, if you have any questions, email myself or Miss Daniel. And Miss Daniel will be holding geometry support tomorrow during second period. And last but not least, you will be having a break assignment. I haven't decided how many questions it is yet, but please make sure you check Delta Math because your break assignment will be there. As always, if you have any questions, email myself or Miss Daniel. Have a great day, ladies.